Alright, so what happens if you consistently ride at a lower pace to what you are capable of? I'll tell you what will happen. You will eventually lose your current fitness level, your FTP. You will lose it. If you're riding all the time at that level and it's under what you're capable of doing, you're not pushing your limits, you'll eventually come down to that level of riding. That's just how sport is. Unfortunately, we don't get to a point when we're doing, say, cycling, where we get up to this great fitness level. You get your 300 FTP and it stays there. It isn't like that. If you're not consistently nudging it and maintaining it, it eventually drops off. That's just how it is. So what I do is, when I'm out on the rides, like this particular ride we're doing at the moment, this is 93 Ks. Okay, I set up some efforts. We all do efforts within the ride. Okay, now I said to the lads, I'm going to go and do an effort now. This is out to the point. It goes for 3.8 Ks, and my target on this one was to just sit on as close to that 300 watt mark as I could. So I was up high in the 280s, the high 200s to the early 300s. That was my target for this particular effort. On some of the other efforts we did, I did altogether 10 efforts in this particular ride over 93 Ks. There were some of the ones that may have only gone for a kilometre and pushing more like 400 plus watts. Come to little hills, you know, those tiny little hills like 400-500 metres long, nothing major. Out the saddle and sprinting up them. When I was on the back of the guys where I was drafting, I would maybe up my cadence a little bit and practice my pedal stroke. So there's heaps of things that you can do within your ride that will help you to increase your efficiency and your FTP, and even help you maintain it. If you're not doing that sort of stuff, it is very easy to start to slowly taper off without you even knowing about it. It's very easy when we're out on the bike. It's very easy to start chatting away. You get through a few Ks and you haven't really done anything. You know, you're just plodding along. You're not really exerting yourself. It's really easy to get into, I guess, what you would call a comfortable zone. So it's important to be, I think anyway, to be doing some harder efforts that are testing you when you're out on the rides, if you want to get stronger. Alright, this is only if you want to get stronger. I mean, I do a stack of training. If anyone's watched any of my videos, my indoor trainer stuff and that, I do a lot of training. I do a lot of that high intensity stuff, okay, where you're nudging your thresholds and stuff, and where I'm riding on my threshold and a bit over the threshold and then a bit under the threshold. I do heaps of that. And I also add that into my rides when I'm out actually on the bike. So this is an effort I'm doing now, and that helps me to maintain my current fitness level, and even helps me over time, because at the end of the day it doesn't happen over one night or one ride. It takes weeks for you to start to see gradual improvements. You don't do this sort of stuff and then 2 weeks later you see a 20% jump in your performance. It takes a bit of time, you know. For me, I really believe you've got to be doing this sort of stuff, because it is so easy to get into a very comfortable zone when you're cycling and not to be doing any efforts, not exerting yourself. And if you don't exert yourself, you do not get any better. You do not get stronger, I can tell you. If you want to get stronger, you got to be pushing yourself all the time. If you're just constantly doing this, if you're at this same level on every single ride, you don't go above that. That's all there is to it. You just don't go above it. And if you're at a higher level and then all of a sudden you start coming down to this level of cycling all the time, eventually your FTP and your fitness level will drop down to this. That's just sport. Sport, I reckon, is a cruel thing. You know, I really believe anyone that puts their mind to it can push themselves up to that higher level, especially, let's say, in cycling, which is what I do. you can push yourself up to that high level. And I know it's true, because when I got back on the bike a couple of 3 years ago, I was at the very lowest, all right? So I was just struggling to push 150, 200 watts, you know, I was struggling at that. Whereas now I can comfortably do 300 watts. So I know it is achievable, but you've got to keep nudging it. If you don't, you lose it. It's the same in bodybuilding. You know, you go down the gym, yeah? And we've all been at the gym at some stage. You're pumping away on the iron, your arms get nice and big, you look solid, and then all of a sudden you stop doing the weights. What happens? Your muscles start to shrink. The muscle will waste away eventually. It's the same in cycling. Your efficiency will drop. So you need to be out there, and you need to be doing some of these efforts, and they're bloody good fun as well. They're great fun doing efforts. So it makes your cycling much more enjoyable, and you still get to ride with all your mates, and you get to enjoy your coffee at the end of it. It's good fun. It's just good fun. I absolutely love this sort of stuff. We're about 60 k's into this ride, and all up I did, I think I said earlier, about 10 efforts altogether. So just vary them, stagger them out. Makes the ride much more fun as well. Makes it heaps more fun than just plodding along at that same level. If you're happy you don't want to get any stronger, as I said before, that's fine. Just go and enjoy your ride. But you can still go out with your mates that aren't bothered about pushing themselves that much, but you go out and do your efforts and just say, I'll meet you at the end of the road or whatever, and you can wait there and have a bit of recovery. So anyway, I hope that's been of some help to you. You got any questions or comments, you can post them down below.